From simple to smart, mobile phones have transformed dramatically to become information and communication hubs fundamental to modern life. But how did they get to be this advanced? Let's back and look the timeline and the evolution of mobile phones. In 1983, the world got the first ever portable mobile phone in the shape of the Motorola Dynatac 8000X. It cost an eye-watering $4,000 USD and was a huge status symbol at the time. In 1985, Michael Harrison made the first ever mobile phone call in the UK. He called his father, then the chairman of Vodafone, Sir Ernest Harrison. In 1989, Motorola followed up the Dynatac with the 9800X or Microtac. It came with a fold-down keyboard cover and set the standard for the flip phone form factor seen throughout the 90s. In 1992, when Nokia launched its 1011 model, the first mobile phone that could be used anywhere in the world. This was thanks to its ability to access the Global System for Mobile Communication (GSM) network, often referred to as the second generation 2G of wireless cellular technology. First launching in 1994, IBM's Simon Personal Communicator is widely considered as the world's first smartphone. IBM brought out the Simon, which had a touchscreen and a very early form of what we all know today as apps. It cost $899 and only worked in 15 states in the US. A splash of color. Although it only offered 4 colors, the Siemens S10 brought mobile phone displays to life for the first time. The first ever phone with the slide-up form factor came in the shape of the Nokia 8110. It had the nickname the banana phone due to its shape and even made an appearance on the big screen. It was also the first device to feature a monochrome LCD screen. The iconic game Snake is launched on the Nokia 6110, which marks the start of mobile gaming. Hargonic launched the Global Handy with no external aerial. In 1998, Nokia launched the 5110, which was hugely popular with the consumer market, and it incorporated replaceable faceplates, making it the first truly customizable phone. BlackBerry entered the professional mobile phone market with its first model, the BlackBerry 850, although at this time the brand was called RIM. Saying that this mobile phone was more of a two-way pager, it didn't actually have the functionality to make phone calls. Japanese tech company Sharp released the Sharp JSH04 under the J-Phone brand in November 2000. The model was only available in Japan. This was the very first mobile phone to feature an integrated digital camera, even if it was only 0.11 megapixels. In 2001, full-color displays start to hit the market, first with the Mitsubishi Triumph Eclipse but the Ericsson T68i. In 2002, Europe's first camera phone, the Nokia 7650, was released. The 650's 0.3 megapixel sensor gave you 640 x 480 pixels of color imaging. The implementation of 3G took download speeds up to 2 Mbps in March 2003, with 3 the first to offer the service in the UK. RIM brought mobile email to the masses with its range of popular 8100 Perl. Motorola launches the Razr V3, one of the most popular fashion-orientated phones between 2004. It sold over 130 million units and is the best-selling clamshell device of all time. In 2005 marked the year that Sony partnered with Ericsson to release the first mobile phone under the famous Walkman brand, made famous through its portable cassette players throughout the 80s and 90s. The W800 was one of the very first phones on the market to prioritize music, possibly as a result of the iPod's recent success. In 2006, the Nokia N95 launched, providing the first real smartphone experience. It ran on Symbian, had 160 MB of RAM, the world's first 5-megapixel phone camera, Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. June 2007 saw the launch of the first-generation iPhone. Unveiled by Steve Jobs, it featured an auto-rotate sensor, a capacitive screen that allowed multiple inputs while ignoring minor touches. HTC launched its Dream G1 model, also known as the T-Mobile Dream G1 in some areas, in September 2008. This was the very first phone on the Android operating system. BlackBerry launched its Curve 8520 model in 2009, further reinforcing its transformation from a business-focused to a consumer-focused manufacturer. One of the most successful phone lines in history, Samsung launched the very first Galaxy S in June 2010. With 16 GB of storage, a 1 GHz ARM Hummingbird processor, an AMOLED touchscreen, a 5-megapixel camera and a 0.3 megapixel front camera, it was a very strong attempt at competing with Apple's. Samsung launched its first phablet phone tablet, the Samsung Galaxy Note N7000, in October 2011. With a screen size of 5.3 inches. There's no doubt the first Galaxy Note had a huge impact on the future of mobile phones. 5 years after the first iPhone hit the shelves, the 5th generation model lands in September 2012. The iPhone 5 sells 5 million units in its first weekend. Released in 2013, the Nokia Lumia 1020 is still known as one of the most powerful camera phones on the market. At a whopping 41 megapixels, this incredible phone has been described as able to replace the digital camera and as a compact camera with some phone features tacked onto it. Apple launched the iPhone 6 Plus at the same time as its iPhone 6 in 2014. The phone brought a new, sleeker design to the iPhone, sporting a thinner body but a huge 5.5-inch screen. Despite these two models being the most expensive smartphones on the market at the time, Apple still managed to break its previous sales record, selling a staggering 10 million units in the first week. Chinese firms Huawei and Xiaomi make strides in Western markets. Google launched its flagship phones, the Pixel and Pixel XL, to a great reception back in 2016. The model's design was nothing special, its high-quality hardware and software. On top of this, the phone received a ton of good press surrounding its camera, scoring a rating of 89 on the DxOMark, the company that rates the quality of smartphone and DSLR cameras. Apple yet again changed the game at its annual September conference with the launch of the iPhone X, the first iPhone with a full-screen display. Launched to celebrate the 10th anniversary of the original iPhone, the model received a lot of bad press at first due to its staggering price tag, with prices starting from $999 for the 64GB model. Its main features included the lack of any on-screen buttons, support for wireless charging, a 5.8-inch AMOLED display with True Tone, a dual 12-megapixel camera and Face ID. Shenzhen-based manufacturer OnePlus launched its strongest proposition yet in October 2018, with the OnePlus 6T. The model sported a new in-screen fingerprint sensor, an updated 6.41-inch full-screen AMOLED display, a powerful 16/20 megapixel dual camera and the latest Snapdragon 845 processor. Chinese manufacturer Ulefone launches the Power 5 incorporating a 13,000 mAh battery, the largest ever seen in a mobile phone, over 4 times greater than Apple's flagship.